Good morning. I'm Broward County Mayor Barbara Sharif. As of this morning, Hurricane Irma continues to bear down on South Florida, with impact expected beginning on Friday evening. Irma is a dangerous storm that all residents should take very seriously. Everyone should be finalizing their plans and completing their preparations today and tomorrow, before the arrival of the tropical storm force winds occurs. This will make our conditions here in Broward County very treacherous, and we want you to be safe and off the roads. This morning, I declared a local state of emergency in Broward County. We're going to alleviate some of the traffic concerns, so if you plan to stay with family or friends during the storm, we ask that you take action today and go ahead and start staying with them today. Tomorrow, Broward County will begin mandatory evacuations beginning at noon for people living in the coastal areas. These are all areas east of Federal Highway, including the barrier islands. Evacuations for those living in low-lying areas and mobile home areas will also be mandatory beginning tomorrow at noon. Shelters will open up tomorrow at noon. Again, we urge people to stay with family or friends outside of the evacuation areas. If you are staying at a shelter, please bring anything that you will need to be comfortable, including medications. Broward County will begin opening 14 emergency evacuation shelters tomorrow at noon. Emergency shelters are a partnership of Broward County, American Red Cross, Broward Schools, and the Florida Department of Health in Broward. Please remember that shelters are a refuge of last resort. They provide a safe, short-term place to weather the storm, but you must bring items to ensure that your personal comfort, including bedding, snacks, water, and anything else you may need. We do have pet-friendly shelters. Please visit broward.org/hurricane for more information and details on shelters located near you. Broward County is working with our city partners for transition to recovery shelters if needed. County government operations will be closed on Thursday and Friday so that employees can focus on protective actions to help ensure the health, welfare, and safety of residents. Broward County Transit continues on a regular schedule until Friday, depending on the severity of the tropical storm force winds. I urge Broward business community, as they implement protective actions for their businesses, allow employees and their families adequate time to prepare for the storm. The Emergency Operations Center will be activated at 7 a.m. Thursday, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With images of Houston, the fourth largest city in our nation, in our hearts and on our minds, the South Florida Water Management District has assured me that water managers have been working around the clock to lower canals and adjust the water control structures. Also, to coordinate with local drainage districts and governments that operate local canal systems. Port Everglades is currently operating under normal conditions. At this time, there are no fuel shortages, and the port has adequate supplies of diesel, jet fuel, and gasoline. Trucks will continue fuel deliveries to gas stations throughout South Florida until Broward County experiences sustained tropical storm force winds. Although some motorists may have experienced long lines to fuel or gas stations that have run out of fuel, that is not reflective of the supplies that we have in Broward. There are a limited number of trucks that deliver fuel to gas stations in Broward and 11 other Florida counties, so residents are encouraged to be patient and conserve fuel. As of this morning, the Broward County Emergency Hotline is now open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to answer resident inquiries. Call 311 if you're in Broward or 954-831-4000. More than 720 storm-related calls have been answered since 8 a.m. this morning. School Superintendent Robert Runcie has announced that Broward District schools will be closed on Thursday and Friday to facilitate community sheltering operations. Hurricane Irma is expected to be a wind event, similar to what we experienced with Hurricane Wilma in 2005. I implore you to put up your hurricane shutters, if you have them, and take all other protective actions as recommended by emergency management officials at the appropriate time. FPL has announced that residents should be prepared for extended power outages. Every family who chooses to shelter in place should be prepared for this and have supplies to last 3 to 5 days. Port Everglades and the airport remain open at this time, but if you have travel plans scheduled for later in the week, please check with your airline or cruise terminal for possible schedule changes. Broward County Transit continues on a regular schedule until services are suspended due to tropical storm force winds. Broward County Parks is closing all of its after-school programming for Thursday and Friday. All tolls across the state have been suspended to make roads easily accessible for evacuations if ordered. County road maintenance crews are preparing county storm drains to minimize any flooding impact on county roadways. Broward County will begin staging heavy equipment today at various sites around Broward County to allow crews to begin road safety inspections and debris clearance immediately after the storm. County bridges, including drawbridges over the New River, are currently functioning under normal operations. Please stay connected to your favorite source of information and updates. Watch the media reports. Broward County news conferences are carried live at broward.org, and you can follow us on Periscope and Twitter as well. Visit broward.org or Twitter at ReadyBroward, and subscribe to Broward County's new emergency alert notification system called Alert Broward. Here is where you'll get the most recent and up-to-date weather information. The Broward.org/hurricane website contains a wealth of information on how to prepare for a storm, and throughout the event will feature up-to-date information on protective actions, shelter location, assistance services, and other important recovery information. Broward, please be ready, set, safe for this potentially very dangerous storm. Please take this very seriously as we are looking at some very, very high winds and a lot of rain. At this time, I would like to invite our Broward County Sheriff, Scott Israel, to say a few words. Sheriff.
Thank you, Mayor, for that comprehensive briefing. Broward County, today is a day where we pray for the best, but we prepare for the worst. The Broward Sheriff's Office, we've worked diligently and tirelessly over a period of years. We've trained, we've done tabletop exercises, we've done everything we possibly could. We are ready to protect the residents and citizens of Broward County to the best of our abilities. We will make you as safe and secure as is possible. But there are some things you can do for yourself to help us help you. One is your hurricane plan, your personal plan needs to be in place today, right now. You need to know where you are driving to tomorrow, who's driving to you. You need to test your generators, gas up your cars, as the mayor said. Make sure you have your medicines. Go to that drugstore and get your prescriptions, because you don't know when the next time you're going to be able to refill is. We ask you to be aware of price gouging. It's reprehensible to think people would take advantage of citizens at a time like this, but you know that's going to happen. If you see anybody trying to price gouge, call this number, and it'll be repeated throughout the week. It's 866-9-NO-SCAM. That's 866-9-NO-SCAM. And that'll go directly to the Attorney General of Florida, and she will prosecute these violations. They're criminal violations with civil remedies. Make sure that your communication with your families, your children, if your children are in Florida schools, make sure they know where to go. Just very, very imperative that we know we have this plan. The last thing I want to say is that people ask me all the time, should I evacuate? What will happen if I don't evacuate? As the mayor said, if you live east on Federal Highway or east of Federal Highway, you want to evacuate. This storm will have significant impact to South Florida. We're not knocking on doors, we're not arresting people, and we're not pulling people out of their homes. We're asking you to leave so you don't become a victim. Our deputies and our firefighters, who are so prepared for this, will stop responding when winds reach a sustained speed of about 45 miles an hour. they need to be safe and secure as well, and then they will exit and work recovery as soon as the roads are safe. Don't be a victim. Take care of each other. The Broward Sheriff's Office is ready to protect Broward County. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. At this time, we'll also invite our Superintendent, Robert Runcie, to give some information and updates for Broward schools.
Thank you, Mayor Sharif. Yesterday, Broward County Public Schools announced that we are closing schools and administrative operations on Thursday, September 7th, and Friday, September 8th. I want to provide our parents and the community some additional information regarding school and district operations. In consideration of the community's focus on preparing for Hurricane Irma, we have canceled all athletic events, evening classes, and other evening events for this evening, September 6th. Again, we've canceled all athletic activities, evening classes, and events for today, September 6th. School operations will continue up until 6:30 p.m. today in consideration of the district's aftercare programs. Our parents and families depend on those. We're going to keep those running until 6:30 p.m. today. But again, all other activities will be closed. I will be declaring a state of emergency for the district effective at 6:30 p.m. this evening. At that point, only employees involved in district's continued preparations for the storm will be working. The district has about 32,000 employees, and we want to make sure that they are going to receive their payrolls. So the district has already run payrolls for this week, and employees who are scheduled to be paid this Friday with direct deposit can rest assured that they will have those funds available on payday. In addition, those employees who receive manual and paper checks, measures have been taken to make those checks available for pickup today at the K.C. Wright Building at 600 Southeast 3rd Avenue. It's a small number of employees. We are contacting them directly to make arrangements. Again, I encourage all of our staff, parents in our community to continue to monitor local news. The district has a mobile app that can be downloaded, which will provide continued information. We have television station Beacon and other sources to communicate to you. Again, I want to stress to let everyone know this is a very serious storm. Everyone needs to take whatever steps that they can to be safe. And I'd also like to say this is a moment for us to see the best of Broward County. It's when we face these challenges that we need to come together as brothers and sisters, exercise a little more patience and forgiveness, as we know we're going to run into lines and a lot of other challenges. But look out for our neighbors, look out for our friends, and let's all work together, and we'll be able to get through this.
Thank you. And again, we want to stress to please, if you are in a low-lying area, you are in an area that you know is prone to flooding, please get out of that area. Try to move out of that area today, because it will be very difficult for us to get to you once the storm starts happening in Broward. I mean, once the winds pick up, you can call 911, but if we can't get to you safely, we're not going to be able to reach you. And it's very important that you understand what the sheriff is saying to you. Please, if you know you're in an area where you might need to be evacuated, and out of an abundance of caution and safety, we would like for you to voluntarily evacuate today. Are there any questions?
Mayor, can you clarify the gasoline situation, because there are a lot of lines and people are going, and the port is going to be going into lockdown. So when people are going, they're finding a lot of stations closed. I mean, I know you say there's no shortage, but
we do not have a shortage.
Expect?
So at this point in time, what we're doing is the tankers are refueling and getting the gas to the stations as quickly as possible. But as you know, that there is a high demand, so there will be lines, but there is enough gas to supply Broward County. They need to be patient. The gas will be flowing. We will not be closing down the port in terms of the gas supplies anytime soon. So those gas supplies will continue to come until we say, okay, all clear, you're off the streets now, no more. So it should not be a problem. People should not be panicking about that. We do have enough fuel. Anyone else?
On the evacuation, can you clarify the timing? You want some people to go today, but it's mandatory tomorrow?
Right. So once we have declared the state of emergency, we will want all vehicles off the street as of tomorrow by noon. So what we're asking for today is that if people have to move things, if they have to go and take their belongings to a loved one's house, we're asking that they do that today in preparation for us trying to clear the roads tomorrow. As you know, we're staging heavy equipment. We're staging to make sure that after the hurricane, we can clear our streets quickly, identify down power lines, and help FPL as quick as possible to make it as safe as possible. So this is about public safety right now, and it's about just asking people to voluntarily cooperate with us so we can do the best job we can to get through the storm.
And when does it become mandatory?
Tomorrow. Will be tomorrow beginning at noon, mandatory.
Sheriff, can you talk a little bit about, so you're urging people not to be on the roads after noon tomorrow?
Well, we're urging people to put their plan in place and be at their final destination tomorrow. We understand that that's not going to be possible, and people are going to wait till the last minute, but there's going to become a time where it's going to be too dangerous to drive. We'll enforce traffic laws up until the point where I feel it's unsafe for our folks to be out there. At that point, they'll be recalled. They'll take safe harbor so that they could go out and save lives and save the community once the winds allow.
I think a lot of people are under the impression it's going to be okay on Friday. You're saying Thursday, people are coming up.
So basically we have a lot of preparation. We have a lot of things that we have to do to prepare for this Category 5 storm. The roads right now are filled with people trying to get last-minute supplies. What we are asking for them is to wrap that up so we can clear the roads. We have to, stage our supplies in the right place, stage the heavy machinery in the right place, and sometimes that doesn't allow for good traffic flow. So we're asking them to please be where they're supposed to be by noon tomorrow and try to stay off the roads so that we'll have only essential personnel there. We know that there are some professions that have to work through, and we want to make sure that they're getting through to get to the hospitals and get to the nursing homes and to get to the facilities where they need to be. So what we're asking is that just please voluntarily adhere to our guidelines.
You said the county is closed Thursday and Friday?
Yes, it is, the county.
By the courts also?
I have not received word on the court, but I will have that at a later press conference today. Yes. Okay. Superintendent Runcie, followed by the sheriff.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to mention one other thing. We've been receiving inquiries about, I know this may sound a little strange, but events over the weekend. All activities and events are also canceled for this weekend. There's no sporting activities. There's no activities, no events. They're all canceled and closed. Thank you.
Sheriff. Go ahead, Sheriff.
One thing I wanted to add is that effective today, Monroe County is beginning mandatory evacuations. So there's only one way to get out of Monroe County, and that's through Dade County and Broward County. So the Broward County residents, Broward County citizens, and homeowners understand that the roads are going to be mobbed, especially those I-95 and Florida Turnpike arteries. That's why we're urging people to get an early start, because once the traffic from Monroe and Dade County comes north, it's going to be at times impenetrable, and there'll be long, long, long lines. One person told me yesterday that they went to Tallahassee for the last hurricane we had, and it took them about 15 or 16 hours to get there. So just a word to the wise. Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to invite Miguel Ascarons to come up, and he will do the Spanish interpretation and give you some extra information.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to clarify that the roads, of course, are still passable. We don't expect the arrival of tropical storm force winds until Friday, late Friday evening into Saturday morning. So traffic is still free-flowing until the mayor or the sheriff deem it too dangerous within that time frame of late Friday evening into Saturday morning. So let's just clarify that the roadways are clear. People can still keep moving through probably late afternoon Friday into Saturday morning. At this time, I would like to also remind the public that we have coordinated very well, as the sheriff alluded to, within the region to ensure we have a phased evacuation process, beginning with Monroe. Tonight, Miami-Dade is starting their mandatory evacuation. And then, again, as the mayor alluded to, tomorrow, Broward County will be implementing our mandatory evacuation order. However, we are strongly encouraging people who would like to get out today that they do so in a safe manner. So all this is coordinated. I also will say that we do have a pre-landfall declaration from the federal government, from the president, as of yesterday late evening. So we have all the resources, both state and federal resources, available to us to support any mass care sheltering issues or any other issues that we may need support here in Broward County. So that is good news for us, and we hope to utilize those resources in the coming days.